Boom. Hey, welcome everyone back to another edition of the Rock Fantasy Files on the Rock Fantasy YouTube vlog. I'm here to promote a concert that I've been dreaming of for years. We are doing the Rock Fantasy 36th anniversary concert for the first time. I'm going to sound European in an open air setting. And we're doing it here locally in Miiddletown, New York, at the Orange County Fair. So it's going to be like Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park, but we're not going to have Kiss music. Well, maybe some on the PA between bands, but we've got a great lineup for this concert. I worked with the fairgrounds to set this up. I've been trying to set this up for 3 or 4 years. And usually, of course, our history of Rock Fantasy anniversary shows, a lot of people know that are local. We've been doing them locally at a local venue, Quinn's Pins, for a couple years before the pandemic. This is the first one we've done since this whole hellish thing's been going on. And before that, we did it at the Chance Theater with bands like Suffocation and Mayhem and Marduk, and just a lot of like a heavier edge of things. Fear Factory, I believe, was 1 year too. But this year, we're coming in, and the fair booked the main headliner, and Eyes of the Nile, which is billed as the East Coast premier Iron Maiden tribute band, and they're from down by DC, Virginia area. We also have Pure Steel recording artist Pharaoh, who has played the last at least two of the last anniversary parties at Quinn's Pins Entertainment Center bowling alley in Miiddletown, New York. And we've got special guest Chris Caffery from Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Sabotage, and of course his solo thing, and Dr. Butcher, and all the many great projects that he's involved in, is going to show up and meet some fans and get up on stage and perform with Eyes of the Nile. Tonight in the room, and this concert, I want to let everybody know, is free. It's a free concert. It's rain or shine. It's at the fair. You pay $10 to get into the fair. There is a VIP area right up in front of the stage if you want to pay, which I believe is $20. But this is free with the fair admission. You come out, go on some rides. There's a circus there. There's dogs with monkeys on their backs. There's all, the typical fair food.
It's better to come up close and see how good looking we are.
And we've got Chris. Let me try to pronounce your last name. DiChiara. It's close. And Sorry. He is the drummer for Eyes of the Nile. And we've got Ron Toth here in the room from Last Pharaoh. And Ron, of course, is the guitar player. And let me chat with Eyes of the Nile a little bit first with Chris. Let's hear about Eyes of the Nile. How long have you been an Iron Maiden tribute? And maybe you can introduce the band lineup for our listeners.
Okay, how long have we been together? Wow. It's 2022, so that means about 2015, I think, is when we formed. And it was just one of those, a friend of mine who I play in another band with, a cover band, was on Craigslist and found an ad for, Bruce Dickinson style singer looking for Iron Maiden tribute band.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, yeah, all right, this is funny. Either he really knows what he's talking about and he's confident about this, or he has no clue whatsoever. So I contacted him, and long story short, we went back and forth. He sent me something of him singing really quickly the chorus of Flight of Icarus, and I was like, holy crap, he can really do this. So we ended up finding out that we knew each other, but we didn't know who we were talking to because it was, through Craigslist, and you have that like scrambled address. So we actually have already met each other a couple times. So that's how that happened. Mm-hmm. We started jamming, and we recruited some people to kind of try out. And we ended up settling in on our final lineup about 7 years ago.
Okay.
But our newest bassist, maybe 2 years ago or so, 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm they're probably going to watch this and say, "What are you talking about? Your years are way off," which is probably right.
Well, they should have showed up and hung out.
Exactly, it's their fault.
So,
So yeah, so it's me on drums. I do some backing vocals, harmonies. Naveed Rashid is our singer. He's our Bruce and Paul Diano.
okay.
Uh, Daniel Tidwell is one of our guitarists. Jason Hurley is our other guitarist, who also, people will get fascinated by this, but he plays lefty. He plays lefty with the low string on the bottom, whatever that means for guitarists. You know how it's completely opposite.
Yeah.
So, and then there's we call him Fern. He's our bassist.
Okay.
He does backup vocals as well.
He's your Steve Harris.
He's our Steve Harris. Yeah. So the thing about this band is that we don't try to look like them.
Okay.
We're not trying to put on kind of a parody act. It's more focusing on the music and getting as close as a representation as possible, so that what you're listening to is, usually the line we get is like, if you shut your eyes, you would think it was Iron Maiden playing.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what we strive for.
Mm-hmm.
And, we got some, I don't want to say props, but we're working on a stage show a little bit more. We got some good stuff. And yeah, it's a great time. Everyone is always very pleased, and nothing but good things so far. So we're really psyched about playing this show, and we're very grateful to be asked to do it.
Yeah, and of course, just to let everyone know, we usually have an Iron Maiden tribute that plays with us every year. It was Mark Garcia, and he's a little disappointed because we had him set up at one year, but I did not book Ides of the Nile. Ron Weber, who books all the bands for the fair, actually booked you guys and booked all the acts that are playing, all the musical acts that are playing the Barn Amphitheater. And so we've had an Iron Maiden tribute at the last couple Rock Fantasy anniversary bashes, along with Last Pharaoh and a couple other bands. British Steel had played one year. So, and this is also, it's held at a wonderful, they put up a great stage behind the old, it used to be a 4-H barn during the fair, and actually where people are going to be standing, and they have a natural amphitheater where you can bring your chairs and a blanket or whatever else and just hang out up on the hill and enjoy the show. It's like a natural amphitheater at the fairgrounds that put in, if people hadn't been to the Orange County Fair in a couple of years, and it just works out well. It was a wonderful setup last year. And some of the tribute bands that do play are just the opposite of you, but they sound good also. I'm not saying they don't sound good, but there's a AC/DC tribute that's playing the week before you, and you wouldn't be able to tell if that's not Brian Johnson. Even when he comes off stage, it's like,
that's awesome.
Body double. But
yeah, you got to get the little cap.
So how long of a performance can we expect? Are you doing like one set, two sets?
I think it's going to be one longer set.
Good.
So just full blown hour, 40 minutes, hour 45, maybe max.
Hour 45. Why not? Let's have a party. We're having a party, so play as long as you can until they shut the power off on the Ferris wheel line.
But we don't want any singers' heads exploding either. So
no, okay.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Now, of course, we're getting material from throughout the years of Iron Maiden with you. Do you touch on any of the latter stuff? Would say when Bruce came back from Brave New World and forward?
Yeah, Brave New World. We're working on a new, well, actually, I should say we have one from the last album, Senjutsu.
Okay.
Before that, though, we're only going back to, I don't know if we're going to play Klansman at this gig, but
okay.
Can't think of what album that's off of.
Boy, you're stumping.
I'm not good with I'm not good with anything after Brave New World. I'm not good with any of them because I actually started losing interest, and just
I'm a big
fan.
I'm a big fan of most of them. Book of Souls I like a lot, and I just couldn't get into the latest album. too much.
Yeah.
I've tried. It just seems to be so long, and some people I know that just love it. And other people I know hate it. I'm somewheres where I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do Writing on the Wall, and
Okay, that's a good song. Yeah, it's great.
yeah, yeah. But besides Klansman, before that, it's up. We do everything from the debut through Brave New World.
Cool.
So we got a good chunk of Paul Di'Anno songs. I
And
wish we did more Paul Di'Anno.
Paul Di'Anno's like, that stuff's so great. I mean, the first couple albums, I know some viewers and some of the fans just love the Di'Anno years. It's always that battle, Di'Anno, Dickinson, and
It's apples and oranges, and
yes,
we
yes,
argue about this as a band all the time
of
because
course.
I think as a singer, you're not going to enjoy singing Paul Di'Anno as much because Bruce Dickinson is a completely
Oh yeah,
different style. It's more of a vocal
yeah.
performance than what Paul was doing, although Paul was a great singer too.
Mhm.
For me personally, I love playing that stuff because, even Number the Beast stuff, because I'm a massive Clive Burr fan.
Mhm.
If someone asked me Clive or Nico, I'm like Clive, hands down.
Yeah,
I just love playing every single song that he played on so much more. I love the Nico stuff. I just love playing the Clive stuff way more.
cool. So let's chat with Ron a little bit. Ron, welcome to the Zoom tonight. And it's been a couple of years since I've had you at a gig, and you guys always tear down the house, I'd say. I had a friend of mine that recently saw you guys up at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, and I believe you headlined in, what was it, like last month?
Yeah, we did.
What's
Yeah,
that?
we did. It was a nice show. It was a great show.
Oh yeah, yeah. He said that he thought that you'd gotten even so much better from when you played at the bowling alley. Like you just like honed everything down. Of course, for people that aren't familiar with Last Pharaoh, they're based in the Hudson Valley. And maybe Ron, you can tell us a little bit about the other members of the band and a little bit of the history of the band.
The lead singer is Tommy Santangelo. Great, phenomenal singer. And Michael James is playing bass, and he's really awesome as well. And right now we are going through drummer change. We're gonna John Suski is filling in, so we got a permanent replacement. He's gonna do all of our shows for quite a while.
Okay.
And anyways, we're just rehearsing. We're recording a new album, working on that.
Cool.
And we have some shows coming up. We're actually hitting New England this weekend. We're doing a whole run of New England, Rhode Island, and
this weekend you're traveling up there. Okay.
Yeah, like the 3 dates: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Well, I hope you have some
New
t-shirts.
Hampshire,
I hope you have some t-shirts left for Orange County Fair.
Oh, we will. We're
Oh,
actually
good.
getting a new shipment coming in.
Good.
So we'll have
Good.
plenty of merchandise and all that.
And how many albums do you guys have out now? I know you have a CD from a couple years back. Maybe inform the viewers of what all about that right now.
Okay, the album is called Mantle of Spiders. It's on
Yep.
Steel Records. You can get it through Amazon or just go right to the site. That was recorded back in like 2017. Actually, I think it was released in 2018. There's been some delays with the new album, but it's all written and we're starting to record that now. And that'll be
Okay.
on Steel Records as well. And
It's-
it's gonna be actually heavier than the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought the first one was pretty heavy. I mean, I consider you like an 80s style metal. I can compare it to Sanctuary at times, to Maiden, Queensryche. I mean, I think Tommy is just an excellent vocalist. Like he gets his vocal range is amazing. I think the Queensryche guys could have called him up and he could have
Oh yeah,
pulled
he
it
could
off.
sing.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, they could have. I mean, I'd sing in my highest note. He could go a whole full octave or two higher than that. So
It's going to be a great night of metal outside at the fair. And you guys have opened up for quite a few national acts over the years. Maybe mention a couple.
let's see. We opened for Dokken. We opened for Jeff Tate, Ingray Malmsteen. Who else? Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
uh,
Steve Grimmett's been on the channel a
Yeah.
couple times, and Steve's such a great guy from Grim Reaper.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah,
trying to get
they want
over.
to do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Grim Reaper said they like, us opening for them. So the next time they come into town, we'll open for them again.
It's a perfect match, I would say. I also want to let everybody know, I don't think I mentioned it. This show starts at 7 o'clock. So if you want to catch Last Pharaoh, please come out early, enjoy the fair a little bit. There's plenty to do at the fair, walk around, get some fair food. Fair's got a full service alcohol bar on the grounds. And also, I want to mention that night, even with all you guys playing, and Chris Caffery is, of course, coming out. He's supposed to show up. He told me he's having he has had a hold up, so he may not make it. But Chris is going to go up and perform, if I didn't mention this already, with Eyes of the Nile and play a couple songs and do a big surprise, which I was just told. We'll keep it a surprise. The School of Rock is also performing on the fairgrounds that night. There's another tent, maybe a couple minute walk up to Midway, where next to the 31st lap, and I believe that will go on after. It'll probably go on partially during this show and most likely after Eyes of the Nile. So on the fairgrounds that night, we've got some great metal and rock and roll. The School of Rock's going to be there where the kids come out, and they do a lot of metal stuff. So it's going to be a fun night at the fair. We just hope for dry weather. I mean, we are going to still have the show if it's raining. Unfortunately, Beach Floyd played last year in a pouring rainstorm, but they played for 3 hours doing their Pink Floyd.
Wow.
And there was a few of us there. We had a few beers and we dealt with it,
Made a night of it.
Yeah. And the other lineup I want to run by the other nights of the fair. So people that, if they didn't know, I wanted to kind of put this out there. The fair opens on July 14th, and they have booked a whole bunch of live music. I don't have the lineup for the 31st lap tent, which is where the School of Rock is playing on the 29th. On the 14th, it kicks off with a Prince tribute with Dean Ford and the Beautiful Ones. Next Friday, a week from this Friday, we're taping this, and it's going to be on July 6th. So July 15th is completely unchained, the Van Halen tribute. They look like Van Halen, and the guy even looks like David Lee Roth, which is uncanny. Guns N' Roses tribute's going to be there on the 16th with Night Train out of the metal stuff. Not metal, but on the 21st, they've got the Red Knot Chili Peppers performing. The 22nd, a week before our big show, there's a great double bill of Battery performing the music of Metallica and Livewire performing AC/DC. That's the week before this show. And Livewire was amazing last year. I tell you what, the singer looked just like Brian Johnson. We came off stage, we were like, this is weird because he is so much like Brian. Even the accent, the mannerisms, I don't know if he studied them or what he did or got hypnotized to be him or something happened. But and on July 23rd, Pink Floyd tribute's going to be there with Beach Floyd, and Abby Kay is going to be there on the 28th. Last year they had the Iron Maidens there for the Iron Maiden tribute. Went over great. Abby Kay actually opened up. And on the 29th, of course, the show we're talking about now, the Rock Fantasy 36th Anniversary Bash with Eyes of the Nile, Last Pharaoh, and Mr. Caffery. And rounding out the fair with rock and roll stuff or classic rock on, I can't get the phone to work here. On the 30th is a Leonard Skinner tribute called Second Helping. And I was told by Ron Weber that booked this band. It features a couple original roadies from the Leonard Skinner band. So that'll be some Southern rock on the Saturday night. And I don't know. We're waiting for Caffery. We're going to have to stall some time. So Chris, what's your favorite Iron Maiden album?
Oh God.
Or give me your top couple songs or something. We got to kill the time for Caffery to show up.
It's between I never thought I'd be killing time for Chris Caffery.
He may
You
show
know,
up.
but Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, Power Slave. It's between those three, hands down. Song wise, I have no idea. It's, you know, something off of those albums.
Uh-huh.
There's some that are more fun to play, maybe, than to listen to, and vice
Okay.
versa.
Yep, yep.
But again, like, I love playing the Clive stuff. Anything, like even something like Purgatory off of Killers is just this balls to the wall, almost like a thrash tune. And it is so satisfying to just play that tune for 3.5 minutes.
Mm.
But yeah, but then you have something like Hallowed Be Thy Name
Ah,
that is just epic. And, you know, we play it with way more. I mean, we play it a lot faster. We do a lot of like the Iron Maiden tempos, the
Okay.
live tempos, not the studio tempos. So it's just so much more energy. And yeah, so I'd say something like
okay.
an unknown song like Purgatory to something like Hallowed Be Thy Name.
And one more question for you, Chris. What's a little bit of your musical background? Do you perform with other bands? Have you been in other bands? Do you have any side projects maybe we can talk about quickly?
Yeah. Well, briefly, my upbringing was playing rock drums, and then I kind of caught the classical music bug in undergrad. So I ended up getting a Bachelor of Music from UMass Lowell in Massachusetts, then went to grad school at New England Conservatory in Boston, got my master's of music there. And then I got a job with the United States Navy Band in Washington, D.C. in 2001. So I just retired from that job after 21 years.
Mm.
But even while I was in the Navy Band, I have been in Eyes of the Nile for, 8 years or so, 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm so wrong on that. It's probably like 6 years or something.
The band's
I've
gonna
been
yell
in-
at you.
I know.
Leave your comments in the comment section, Eyes of the band members, please.
I've been in a cover band, like more of a top 40-ish cover band for
Okay.
16 years called Dr. Fu. We have a hair metal band called Hair Metal, which is the
Wow.
whole dress up thing. No one knows it's the same people. I just gave it away. I sing lead vocals in a Beatles acoustic tribute called Nowhere Men.
Wow.
And then all the freelancing. I sub with other bands sometimes. I'm actually subbing with another Iron Maiden band this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're from Nashville, called Power Slave, and they're in this area. And
Sounds
something
cool.
happened with the drummer, so I'm subbing with them a couple times.
Now, is this the first time that Eyes of the Nile is coming to the north, per se?
We've been to New Jersey. That's
Oh,
about
yeah.
as far north.
And
Yeah.
where did you play in New Jersey before?
Can everybody hear me? I can't hear anything.
Yeah, you're good. We can hear you.
All right.
Hey.
Give us
Again,
1
like
second.
always, I don't have a lot of time. It's always the story of my
All
life.
right, cool. Give us 1 second, Chris. Where did you play in New Jersey, Chris?
I think it was
There's two Chris's. Sorry, Chris.
sorry. Where was it? I think it was halftime sports bar grill or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there was another place I think up there. I honestly forget.
What was that, down by Philly area, maybe? No, South Jersey.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Caffery made it. He's in the middle of doing some recording as usual, and he's a very busy man. He was out walking around Legoland Amusement Park, which just opened up in the area. Another cool thing that's come to Orange County, and now he's going to have to come to the Orange County Fair. He's pretty good at the shooting gallery game there. You could probably win anybody.
Yeah, but they didn't have the shooting gallery game the last couple of years. I don't know why, if it was because you have to pass something that people were holding to the next person, but the last couple of times we were there, or maybe they just didn't want the GUN word, but who knows?
It is a different amusement company too, I think. So it could be that's why, because that might have traveled with other carnival. But anyhow, he was really good at a couple of the carnival games. And Chris, welcome. And what's going on in Chris Caffery world? And I know we've kind of let the secret out of bed. We didn't say what songs you're going to play, but you're going to go up with Chris. We have to drop.
I don't think we finished what songs we were going to play. I think we might throw in something from a band that I play in, and
Oh, that's a real
well,
secret. We're not telling anyone about that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's 80 million bands, so it could be anybody. But
True.
that and I don't. Did we finalize the Maiden song? We did. All right, I have to look back in it. 'Cause
Chris will have to-
I'll email you again.
yeah, that's the best thing to do. Steve doesn't. I think Steve doesn't realize that he always has these Zoom things show up when I'm right in the middle of 90 things, and I always forget that it's coming on. And it's just like, oh, the Orange County fair thing. I sent you the link, and it'd be like 5 minutes to 8. He couldn't do that at like 4
Well,
in the
I thought
afternoon.
you checked it. I thought maybe you saw the email last night. I was
Yeah,
hoping.
it couldn't have been like 4 in the afternoon. Him going, oh, well, remember tonight's that. It's like 5 minutes to 8. When I'm just getting ready to get back to work, and I totally forgot about it. And it's like, oh Jesus. All right.
Well, I'm glad you
Then
could
my
make it for.
accountant called, and then I had something else come up. So it's like it's always something. But
So you're coming to the fair, and it'll be great to have you there, continuing the tradition that which we carried on. Of course, last Pharaoh was there with you the last time. You played with you came up and actually went on stage with Schools Out, the Alice Cooper tribute at one of our anniversaries a couple years back, wasn't it?
yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was over at
At Quinn's.
Quinn,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so-
And so we're moving to the big time. We're going open air. It's going to be like Europe, where Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park. We're going to be able to ride the Ferris
we'll
wheels.
pray to the weather gods and hope everything goes well that night. So
Yeah, I mean, it is rain or shine, but let's hope it's shining.
Absolutely.
And
well, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun, and it's great to be back out and playing and seeing people out there having a lot of fun, because all over the world it looks like everybody dusted themselves off pretty quickly. So but everybody
yes, we need
although you do watch a lot of these mystery concerts canceled, and you see everybody's like, due to some illness we're not playing. They never say the C word, because I think they don't want anybody their insurance companies to know what it is.
Metallica just said the C word over in Finland. So
Yeah, they said it, but to other people,
some are
Guns N'
plotting
Roses
through
didn't
it.
say the C word. Guns
Mhm.
didn't say this. Some people don't say the C word. Some do,
Well-
some don't. I think it all depends on what insurance they have, or
Yes.
how old the guys in the band are.
And whether you're in like a young hardcore or death metal band traveling around the United States, and you're just going to play with it, pretend you got the sniffles. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what's going on in the world right now. But
we'll be there. We'll be having some fun. And I seriously do have to run and get back.
Okay.
To the street, but I wanted to definitely stop in before I screwed it up and not make
Yes.
it. But yeah, just send me that, and I look forward to it. I mean,
of course, it's going to be a blast.
I've been playing Iron Maiden songs since I was 12, so I'm pretty I'm familiar with it, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to getting on stage with the guys and watching their show.
And if you have any merch,
wait.
Chris, you could always bring some merch to sell or anything. If you want to do anything like that, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I got to see what I have around. It's so weird because
Because last fair,
Pete's having his Sea of Tranquility thing in
October.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too. And I'm like, God, I don't even know what I have.
We got to
anymore.
pull double duty that day. I got 4th row tickets for Leonard Skinner at the fairgrounds that night, and I got to somehow.
Oh, it's the same night. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it stinks. It's the same night, but we'll have to try to pull both off somehow. Maybe go to Pete's, but Pete starts in the afternoon. He said so.
Did he
We'll try to
realize
pull
that
it
was
off.
the same night as Skinner when he did it? Did he?
No, because Skinner canceled because they got COVID. Remember, they used the
okay.
C word,
I
and
didn't-
then they put it to October 1st, and then Pete immediately, who was going with me to Skinner, we had 4th row seats, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I still want to go see Skinner, but maybe I'll make it to your thing too. But we'll be pulling double duty that day, but that's down the road, so we'll have to figure
we'll
that
figure
out by
what's
then.
going on. Yeah, he wants me to go up and do some stuff that day too. So I wanted to go see Skinner. So we'll see what happens.
We'll have to
but-
go
all
up
right.
there early and come back. But thanks, and we'll see you on July 29th, if not before. And Chris actually just played in Middletown with Jimmy Sturr, the Polka King, on
Yeah,
on
I just
Friday
played
night.
there on Friday, and I got a show with him in Florida, New York on Sunday. But I do have to run. So
Good. All right. Take care, Chris.
Hey, good seeing everybody. Thank you. I'll see you.
See you, Chris.
Cool. So I guess let me finish up a little bit or start wrapping this up, and Ron, let's talk a little bit about your musical history before last Pharaoh. Anything else you had going on and good stuff like that?
Yeah, I played the cover band called Blackout down in New Jersey.
Okay.
Did the whole thing store doing your favorite top 40 songs. And I also played with an original project out of Chicago. Recorded like an EP. It did quite well on the European internet charts. It's called
Oh,
Death. And it's like metal, 80s metal style.
yeah.
And it was good band. And Victor Russo, who used to play with Alice Cooper, was the drummer on that. So, really good sounding album. And let's see, a band called Symphony of Shred from the Hudson Valley. It's mostly original. We did a few covers like Ozzy Osbourne, Black
Okay.
Sabbath, a lot of Van Halen.
Nice.
And another band called Ion.
Okay.
Totally all original. So, well, actually, we did a couple Megadeth songs too, as well.
That sounds
So
cool.
that's pretty much fun.
So I hope that everyone that's watching this, if they're from the Hudson Valley or a couple hours away, can pack up and come out to the fairgrounds with us and enjoy the fair. There's a circus on the grounds. The Royal Hannaford Circus is there. That's free with admission. And forget what else is going on. I think there's a hypnotist there. Maybe you can hypnotize Chris into playing Judas Priest instead of Iron Maiden or something awful like that.
It might happen. It might happen anyway. Who knows?
And come out and enjoy. I think it's the 186th edition, 184th edition of the fair. So I've lived in town all my life. This place was the place to go in the 70s and the 80s. In the 80s, they had a concert series, and all the national acts would come through Middletown and play in front of the big grandstand, and everything, all the metal bands and anybody else that was touring would be at this fairgrounds. And we're trying to recreate some of that magic at the fair. They still have the 1964 World's Fair lights that are up around that are quite nostalgic, and they call them luminaires. And place has just got a lot of history. It's got the oldest dirt track in the country, I think, or maybe next to the oldest dirt track, 5/8 mile track in the center, which is not active on the 29th, but the night before, the 28th, is a 100-lap Super Dirt Series modified race. So if anybody wants to come in and spend a couple nights and hang out in Middletown, anyone, please come check out the store the night, the day of the show, or the day after. If you guys are staying over, there's plenty of hotels in Middletown. If you want to come out and support, we'd
We'll
love
be
to.
there.
We would love to see you all there and jam out. And what's better than singing along with Iron Maiden all night and checking out local original artists with Last Pharaoh and the king of metal. I guess they're calling your singer now. They're calling him King on his Facebook page now or something.
Yeah.
Cool. So any last words from anybody else before we wrap it up tonight?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for having us on the show.
Oh,
And
thank you so much for wanting to do it.
I'm really looking forward to playing. It's gonna be great.
Cool.
Looking forward to seeing Eyes of the Nile too. Should be great.
Yeah, me also. And Ron's idea was to bring in some different tribute bands that weren't from the area, and to showcase some different bands. Last year he brought in Rush Hour from Florida. He had at Kiss Nation, who was kind of local. They were a lot of fun too. But great lineup of music at the fair. It's free, it's outside, kind of safe if you're concerned about the virus and all the stuff like Chris brought up. We're kind of outside, plenty of area you can social distance there. There's a big lawn and big area to spread out, plenty of cold beer and soda and snow cones and all that good fair stuff, and a petting zoo. Even we can go to the petting zoo after, ride the Ferris wheel, check out the dark ride and all that good stuff. And hey, if you like the channel, please take a moment to subscribe and we'll see you next time on the Rock Fantasy YouTube, and please come out and party with us.
See you soon. Thanks for having